How's it going, YouTube? I'm going to do a tabletop review of the Mossberg 930 SPX, kind of an unboxing. I just picked it up. I've owned a lot of shotguns, but never a 12 gauge semi-automatic in a standard traditional platform. I've owned VR80s and other AR platforms, semi-automatic 12 gauges, and none of them have been reliable. I mean, they're fun to play with, but if you heard something kick your door at night, that's not something you should grab and go investigate with. It can't be trusted, in my opinion. And I have a TAC 14 that's pretty reliable. A kind of a truck gun, something small, but I've not had or pulled the trigger on a reliable semi-automatic shotgun. And so when I think about a reliable semi-automatic 12 gauge, I think of, top of the line is the Benelli M4. You have the Beretta 1301, and then you have the Mossberg 930. Those are it's the pinnacle. It's really all I think about when I think of a reliable semi-automatic 12 gauge. And of those three, the Mossberg 930 is the cheapest. But I didn't necessarily choose it because it was the cheapest. It just made the most sense to me. So the Benelli M4 is very nice. But I haven't seen a lot of proof that tells me that it's just more reliable than the Mossberg 930. Most people that have it tells the story that the fit and finish and the feel of it is better, but it is not a more reliable shotgun. And then the Beretta 1301 is a very much similar to the 930. It costs about an extra $300, a little over $300, and the performance of the weapons are about the same. But the Mossberg 930 holds an extra 2 rounds in the tube, and capacity is huge for me. So with it all said and done, the Mossberg 930 is what I landed on. Between it and the Beretta. I didn't really seriously consider the Benelli. I mean, I could buy 2 930s for that price. So let's get into the shotgun. It is a Mossberg 930 SPX. I got this from Bud's Gun Shop. I think it was $830 by the time taxes and everything was paid. I think $940 is what I paid for it, and that's a good price for me. And so in the box you've got your gun lock, owner's manual. These come with spacers for the buttstock, so you can adjust the buttstock and get it how you like it. And then you have the weapon itself. Mossberg 930. Now, I have never shot one of these. They have been out for years now, and I think the first generation of them had some problems. But these are all Gen 3 930s that you would buy now, and they've worked through all those problems, and they became a very reliable weapon. And so what you get, this weapon is about 38 inches overall length, and I think the weight on it is about 7.7 pounds, somewhere around there. And that's the biggest difference between this and the Beretta. I think the Beretta is 3 inches shorter than this. I could be off on that. And I think it's a full pound lighter. And so a lot of people's complaints is when you pull it up, if you're wearing a lot of gear and stuff, that extra few inches in the buttstock means quite a bit. You know, if you don't push out and come in, you'll end up catching on your clothes, your kit, anything. And it makes it a more unwieldy weapon for guys with shorter arms. And so if you're one of those 5'9" or shorter guys, the Beretta 1301 may be a much better fit for you based on that alone. Or you can make adjustments to this buttstock or buy an aftermarket buttstock. But those were two of the biggest differences in the weapons. The reliability and everything else was pretty similar. And I'll tell you that one of the reasons I chose this is in all of the videos that I watched, these things will eat whatever you feed it. Cheap target ammo, birdshot, double alt buck, slugs, I mean, anything you put in this thing, it reliably cycles it. And that is huge for me. That's a big thing for me. Most of the weapons that I keep is weapons that can do just that. A Glock, you know, some SIGs, you know, the AR that I landed on is one that can shoot almost anything. It is, the gas is set to where it will cycle almost anything. And that's, you need that. You know, if you're ever in a position where you have to scavenge ammo, you definitely don't want a picky weapon in that circumstance. So, like I said, this thing is about 38 inches long, a little over 7.5 pounds. I think the barrel is about 18.5 inches. And it comes with a fixed front sight, Picatinny rail, and a rear sight. And it also comes with a tactical buttstock with pad, pistol grip and pad. And that's a lot, you know, for under $1,000, that's a lot. And you get 7 in 1. 7 in the tube, 1 in the chamber, and the Beretta 1301 only gives you 5. So, in comparison, it was, like I said, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. This is what I was going to go with. So my plan is to take this out tomorrow and put about 150 rounds through it and see what it does. So this 930, when it's empty, it will automatically lock to the rear. This button here is your bolt release. There's people that complain about this button because if you push it when the weapon's loaded, it'll eject shells, and it'll eject it into this chamber, and they'll get stuck back here. And then you are struggling to try to dig those things out of there. Take a screwdriver, a knife, a pick or something, a punch. But I can tell you that this button isn't very easy to push. And so if you do push it, you've done it on purpose. Now I can see that if you're loaded and you're maneuvering with it and you're moving through a doorway or something, you could actually probably touch that or hit that by accident and cause a situation where your weapon is no longer usable until you fix it. And it's not an easy, quick fix. These rounds get jammed up back here, and that is a significant problem, you know. And so, you know, one of the biggest concerns that people have is that, I'll have to play with it and see how big of a concern that is. But there are some people that I think GG&G makes a far larger pad that you can replace this with. I don't know why you would do that. That just gives you more area to make a mistake, to where this is pretty much protected by the charging handle. And if you're careful, it should never be a problem, but potentially it is, and it's something that you should concern yourself with. The safety is in the same place it is on all Mossbergs. The Remingtons basically put all their safeties next to the trigger guard, and Mossbergs are all back here. Now generally it's a good spot for Mossbergs because it's easy to manipulate. But with this pistol grip, if you have small hands, it'll be more difficult for you to manipulate. But if you have pretty decent sized hands, it's not a problem. It also has this indicator that lets you know if the firing pin's been engaged. If this is poking out, the firing pin is engaged. And if it is hidden inside the trigger wheel, your firing pin is not engaged. So yeah, I'll do another video after I put some rounds through it, and I have some modifications. En route, I got a GG&G side saddle. I think a whole 5 or 6 shells. I have a replacement safety selector with it has a little nipple on it. It makes it easier to work with, and I think I have a G&G red follower coming in the mail. That'll make it easier to know when you're out of ammo, and it's it moves easier in the tube. It allows for more fluid function. So after I put some rounds through it and I get those items installed on the weapon, I'll make another video. I'll let y'all know what I think. Have a good one.